Maggie, and here are some care tips when it comes to watering the peace lily. This is my Spathiphyllum Picasso. The leaves have this wild splash of colour, hence the name Picasso. But honestly, if you can get your hands on just like a normal peace lily, it's such a great plant for beginner plant parents because they tell you exactly when they're thirsty. Oftentimes you'll see care tips mention that a plant prefers to have moist soil, but then they emphasize do not overwater. Like, how confusing is that? Well, you achieve this by step 1, having enough drainage in your pot. I will expound on this later. Step 2, watering it only after you've let the soil dry out sufficiently. That's right, abort your weekly plant watering schedules because just like humans, they don't drink water strictly to a timetable, especially with plants like the peace lily who are great at communicating exactly when they need a drink. You're probably thinking, geez, your plant looks a bit sad. Yep, it's looking dismal. The leaves are drooping down, sandwiching on top of each other, and even the stems actually feel floppy. I think the Picasso peace lily is telling me it's thirsty. But let's just check the soil first. The best and cheapest method is to use one finger and stick it into the soil, middle phalanges deep, as in 2 bendy bits deep on a finger. Otherwise, you can use moisture meters by stabbing the probes about 1/4 deep into the pot, and the little readout scale goes ping to give you an indication of moisture, light, or pH levels in the soil. I've also seen people use wooden chopsticks from takeaway restaurants, and if the soil sticks to the chopstick when you pull it out, that soil is moist. Bottom line is you must check how moist your soil is before you douse your plant in H2O. Okay, so my Picasso peace lily is dry. Let's go ahead and water it. Hopefully achieving the elusive moist soil but do not overwater sweet spot. I pop underneath the tap and water it. Now, because I live in Australia, our tap water is safe to drink, so I don't bother using distilled water, but you can do that if you're feeling a bit schmancy. Also, living in Australia means that the tap water is most of the time scorching hot at first, so make sure you test out the temperature on your hand before you burn your plant. Otherwise, you can fill up your watering can from the tap and let it acclimate to room temperature. For those of you who live in the northern hemisphere, you can use this room temp method for your normally freezing water temperatures. I love watering it slowly in a zigzag pattern, making sure that the water reaches every area within the circumference of the pot. And now you just lift it up, see how much water is dripping out from the drainage holes of the pot. That's stop right there though. Remember how the trick to getting the unicorn level of moisture in your soil is step 1, having enough drainage in your pot? Plastic nursery pots are ugly, but they have ample drainage holes on the bottom. This will better prevent your roots from rotting in sopping wet soil cooped up in a pot of death. No matter how pretty that holeless pot is, it's a death sentence for your plants. Remember how you saw little droplets coming out of the bottom of the pot? So I'm going to water it a second time. Let the water infuse into the soil. You can clearly see the second time around there's quite a consistent trickle coming out of those drainage holes. Droplets and trickle is nice. You don't want anything more violent than that because it might make you lose the soil in your pot faster. So there you have it. Now, to reward you for sitting through me saying moist for the millionth time in this video, here's a 2-hour time lapse of my Picasso peace lily drinking up the water in the soil and getting a whole lot more perky. And here's the same plant 12 hours later. What a big difference. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video because I did. If you want to hear more of my Aussie accent, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how you water your plants. Bye!